Another day, another story. From towering heights to closed spaces, taxis, and giant insects, the real world offers more than enough things to cause a fright. Why not enter the realm of the fantastic and explore some of the terrifying creatures that roam the wilds of the imagination? Count your blessings, these 8 mythological monsters aren't real. Well, we're pretty sure they aren't, anyway. Welcome to Tabo Eminent Channel. Berchte. A woman of many names, this German, Austrian, Swiss, and Alsatian spirit fulfills many roles. As Berchte, she is a beady-eyed, hooked-nosed hag with stringy grey hair and disheveled clothing. Parents threaten young children with her presence if they are untidy or misbehaved. As Butzenbergt, she is responsible for delivering presents to all the good children on Epiphany. However, if she is not sufficiently appeased with herrings and dumplings or pancakes at the Feast of Epiphany, she becomes the stomach slasher, a demon who will rip open the stomachs of those who have wronged her, take her due, and then sew the wound with a plowshare as a needle and chains for thread. She who giveth can most definitely taketh away. Berchte, also known as Perchte or Bertha, is a figure from Germanic folklore and mythology. She is often associated with the Alpine region and is known by various names and regional variations. Berchte is a complex and multifaceted character, and her characteristics can vary in different traditions. Here are some common aspects of the Berchte legend. Wild hunt. In some traditions, Berchte is said to lead the wild hunt, a spectral procession of the dead or supernatural beings. The wild hunt is often associated with the winter months and storms. Protector of women and children, Berchte is sometimes seen as a benevolent figure who protects women and children. She is thought to visit homes during the 12 nights, the period between Christmas and Epiphany, to reward good behavior with gifts or punish misdeeds. Spinner of fate, Berchte is sometimes depicted as a spinner, similar to the Norse Norns or the Greek fates. She is believed to hold the fate of individuals in her hands, determining their destinies. Appearance. Berchte's appearance can vary, but she is often described as a tall and beautiful woman. In some accounts, she is associated with light and benevolence, while in others, she may take on a more sinister form. Reward and punishment. Berchte is associated with the concept of rewarding the virtuous and punishing the sinful. Those who worked hard and maintained order in their households were rewarded, while the lazy or disorderly might incur her displeasure. Berchte's mythology has evolved over time, and she has been incorporated into various regional customs and traditions. It's important to note that the character of Berchte can differ significantly from one cultural context to another, and there isn't a single standardized version of her legend. Pishachas. According to Vedic myth, these flesh-eating demons created by Brahma were considered to be the vilest of all. They lurk in charnel houses and graveyards, waiting for humans to infect with disease or madness. Neither the living nor the dead are safe, as these demons consume flesh with little regard for its freshness. They also often haunt places where violent deaths have occurred. In southern India, the Pishachas roam the forests between villages, so travelers carry a piece of iron or leaves from the neem tree to ward off the demons if they must pass through the forests. Pregnant women are especially susceptible to these creatures. In Hindu mythology, Pishachas are malevolent, flesh-eating demons or spirits. They are often depicted as demonic, ghoulish creatures associated with darkness, chaos, and impurity. Pishachas are believed to be the servants of the goddess of destruction, Kali, and they are sometimes considered a type of supernatural being that preys on human flesh. Here are some key aspects of Pishachas in Hindu mythology. Physical appearance. Pishachas are typically described as grotesque and frightening beings. They may have a deformed appearance, with sharp teeth and claws, and are often associated with a terrifying aura. Night dwellers. Pishachas are said to roam during the night, and they are particularly active in cremation grounds and places associated with death. They are believed to feed on the flesh of the deceased and may possess the bodies of the recently departed. Association with impurity. Pishachas are considered impure and are associated with unclean and inauspicious places. Their presence is often seen as a sign of negative energy and malevolence. Shape-shifting abilities. Pishachas are sometimes believed to have shape-shifting abilities, allowing them to take on various forms. This ability adds to the element of deception and fear associated with these supernatural beings. Methods of attack. Pishachas are said to attack humans by causing illness, spreading disease, or creating disturbances. They are believed to be particularly dangerous to pregnant women and newborns. Offerings and protection. In Hindu traditions, people may perform rituals and make offerings to appease pishachas and seek protection from their malevolent influence. Various protective measures, such as chanting specific mantras or wearing talismans, may be employed to ward off these demonic entities. It's important to note that beliefs in pishachas vary across different Hindu traditions and cultural contexts. While these entities are often associated with fear and malevolence, they also play a role in reinforcing cultural taboos and the importance of maintaining purity and sanctity in various aspects of life. Porskoro. In Romani folklore, Porskoro is one of the offspring of Anna, the queen of fairies, and Luzoliko, the king of demons. Anna's fairy court made her a cake from the hair of a hellhound, a cat, and a powdered snake in the hopes that it would repel the demon king. Instead, Porskoro was born. He has a human body with 3 cat heads and 4 dog heads and a snake with a forked tongue as his tail. This demon, along with his children, is responsible for epidemics of contagious diseases, and he has a special fondness for those spread by parasites. Namozu. Whatever you know about earthquakes is wrong. Forget science. This giant Japanese catfish is the cause of the seismic shakes. With an eel-like body, a large flattened head, and whiskers framing its mouth, it lies in rest underneath Japan. However, it expresses its anger through earthquake-causing wriggling. The Kaname-ishi, a large stone, rests on its back and protrudes above ground in the temple of the god Kashima. The catfish is bound by this stone until Kashima's attention slips. After the destructive Great Ansei earthquake of 1855, hundreds of different types of prints of the Namozu appeared around the city. The earthquake was often considered an act of yonoshi, or world rectification, addressing the ills of society, and the Namozu was worshipped as a god. Namozu is a mythological catfish creature from Japanese folklore. According to the legend, Namozu is a giant catfish that lives beneath the earth, specifically under the islands of Japan. It is said to be responsible for causing earthquakes when it thrashes about in its underground lair. The myth of Namozu is closely tied to the earthquake-prone nature of Japan, and the story is often used to explain the occurrence of earthquakes in Japanese mythology. The legend goes that Namozu is kept in check by the god Kashima, who uses a large stone called Kaname-ishi to pin the catfish down. However, when Kashima lets his guard down or is momentarily distracted, Namozu is able to move, causing earthquakes. A popular depiction in art and folklore shows the god Kashima holding a large mallet or a kana deko, a type of paperweight, to subdue Namozu. The Namozu myth has been used to explain the unpredictability of earthquakes and serves as a cultural metaphor for the uncontrollable forces of nature. The legend has been passed down through generations and remains a fascinating aspect of Japanese mythology and folklore. Cauchemar. Cauchemar is the French name for a creature that appears throughout European stories. Called Mar in Germany, Ephialtes, the Leaper, in Greece and the Nightmare in England, this demon violates something very precious to us, a good night's sleep. It jumps on the chests of sleeping humans, inflicting pain and crushing the life out of them. The sleeper wakes suddenly, feeling the heavy pressure against his chest and unable to move. The effects of a cauchemar are easily noticeable: exhaustion and agitation combined with a refusal to go to sleep at night. Various wards against the demon exist, such as placing iron nails in the mattress and putting shoes at the side of the bed with the toes pointing out. Now you know what's been happening all those nights. Cauchemar is the French word for nightmare. However, it's worth noting that the term is often used in a broader sense to refer to a particularly distressing or frightening dream or experience. The English word nightmare is derived from the Middle English word mare, which referred to a goblin or evil spirit believed to cause feelings of suffocation or anxiety in sleep. In various cultures, the concept of nightmares has been associated with different supernatural entities or phenomena. Folklore around the world often includes stories of malevolent creatures that visit people in their dreams, causing fear and discomfort. It's important to differentiate between the general concept of nightmares and specific cultural or historical interpretations of these disturbing dreams. Nightmares are a common human experience, and their interpretation can vary widely based on cultural, psychological, and personal factors. Nighthawk. The Scandinavian Nighthawk, or Terror of Corpses, as he is affectionately known, constantly threatens the existence of the entire world. A giant serpent or dragon, he eats corpses to sustain himself and gnaws on the third root of Yggdrasil, the world tree. He resides on Norstrand, the shore of corpses, in Niflheim, House of the Mists, which is situated on the lowest level of the universe. When he's not biting away at the foundations of our world, he bickers with the unnamed eagle that sits on top of the tree. And don't worry, he's not alone, he has other serpents aiding him in his goal of destroying Yggdrasil. Bin Nye. Known as the Little Washer by the Ford, this Scottish spirit isn't as friendly as her name might suggest. She's an omen of death. She is described as being small, wearing green clothing, and having red webbed feet, and she can be found washing the blood-stained linens of those about to die. If someone finds her doing this, it could foretell his own death or the death of a loved one. If she sees the observer, she lashes out with whatever she's washing. One touch from the cloth can break both legs. However, if the observer can arrive at the water's edge before she does, he is allowed to ask for 3 wishes, if he can answer 3 questions sincerely. The question is it worth it? Langsor. Created from the spirits of women who died in childbirth, the Malaysian Langsor is not someone you want to meet in the middle of the night. With her floor-length hair concealing a hole in the back of her neck, long talons, and ability to fly, she makes for a menacing sight as she steals fish from fishermen's nets. It doesn't end there, though. She is also a shapeshifter, and her real goal is draining the blood of an unguarded infant. But take comfort, this vampiric demon can be stopped if her hair and talons are removed and inserted into the hole in her neck. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel.